If you're here to watch some white nerd go through the Kendrick and Drake beef and break it down every single entendre, every single minor detail of the pictures of the album covers, every single lyric, then you're in the wrong spot. If you want to go to a video that does that, click here, which is, or not click, but find the video that I will put here, which is a video by Ludwig or Mogul Mail that goes really in depth into this entire situation that I'll be scratching the surface of today. But seriously, go check out that video. That's where a lot of my information is coming from. But also, the reason I'm making this video is because I find it really interesting, and the fact that all of this somehow ties back into some of my favorite rappers and how unfortunately they've passed away. But it all goes full circle. It's like an Attack on Titan. Everything, every plot point is this one big sphere. So if you've been living under a rock recently, Kendrick and Drake have been at each other's throats ever since the song came out that is called First Person Shooter by Drake. Now, in First Person Shooter, it says, "Love when they argue the hardest MC. Is it K Dot or is it Aubrey or is it me? We the big three like we started a league, but right now I feel like Muhammad Ali." Huh? Yeah. So basically, what Drake is saying here, and this is Drake and Metro Boomin, right? What Drake is saying here, he's putting himself and a few other rappers in the big three, right? He's putting Drake and K Dot, which is Kendrick Lamar, and Metro Boomin in the big three, right? Big three. So keep that in mind. Big three. 1, 2, 3. And this line by Drake and Metro Boomin's song, not Metro Boomin, sorry, First Person Shooter, very, very good song. I listen to that song pretty much every single day. It's one of my favorite Drake and Metro Boomin songs from that album. Very, very good song. Hey, this is Dune, editing Dune. I'm editing my video right now, and I noticed that I said Metro Boomin and Drake. I meant to say Metro Boomin and Future. So very sorry for the confusion there. Everything will be fixed in a minute. Just bear with me. So this line right here, "We the big three like we started a league," that essentially started everything. Well, it set the seeds to start everything, because the next line by Kendrick really made the seeds grow of this entire feud here. In this song called Like That by Future, Metro Boomin, and Kendrick Lamar, Kendrick says, "Motherfuck the big three, N-word, it's just big me." So what Kendrick is saying here is he's going like this to the big three, right? He's saying that not to himself, because, but he's saying like, fuck you to the idea of the big three. And he's saying, it's just big me. It's just me. I am the leader. I am more than the big three. Which before this, I was a fan of Drake. I mean, I still am a fan of Drake. I think he's a good artist, not a good person. Especially after all of the stuff that's come out with him, with the whole Kendrick and Drake beef. We'll get into that. I was a Drake fan, not a Drake Glazer, but a Drake fan. I think he's made some solid music. I think his fame is rightfully earned. I think he's one of, if not the, or he's one of the most popular rappers out there for sure. But I'm a bigger fan of Kendrick. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of storytelling rap, which is, as you could say, like most of Kanye's music, some of King Von's music, most of Kendrick's music. But the reason I like Kendrick so much is because I believe he is the best, you can quote me on this, the best writer in the rap scene. I believe he is one of the most ingenious in lyricism. Like, he's one of the most genius lyric writers out there in the entire world. And in the rap scene, he's number one. That's why I'm such a big fan of Kendrick. So with Like That by, again, Future, Metro Boomin, and Kendrick Lamar, this started everything. This one line where Kendrick says, "Nope, no big three, it's just me." This started everything. And this led into, and again, I'm not going to get too in-depth into it because I'm not going to read too much into it. I'm not the best person to explain this. Again, go watch Ludwig's video on his channel called Mogul Mail. Very, very good video. 100% recommend it. This led to multiple disses, mainly between Drake and Kendrick, but they released multiple songs, multiple videos. Like you have Meet the Grams, you have Not Like Us, you have, let me see. So the whole thing in chronological order, after Kendrick drops that banger, no big three, it's just big me, Drake drops Push Ups, which is a song basically like saying, think of Drake as, the guy who's like, oh, like the Looney Tunes guy, all the memes, like whenever Drake smells pie, he starts floating to the pie smell. He's like, what's that smell? It smells so good. This entire song is basically Drake calling Kendrick short because, the album cover of Drake's song has a shoe size stamp on it. And Kendrick is shoe size 7, which means it's basically calling him short, right? A very Drake thing to do, but this another step. It's just a big step in the whole beef stuff that I think will end in blood, but again, we'll get into that later. And in push-ups, Drake mentions a lot of stuff that again I'm not going to get too into, but he mentions some pretty freaky stuff going on with Kendrick and some bodyguards and Whitney and all these different individuals that, again, go watch Ludwig's video. Very, very nice. I keep on saying the same things. I'm not going to get into it. I don't want to. This video is just the tip of the iceberg. You know, you see the iceberg videos. Mine is not even at the tip of the iceberg. Mine is in the atmosphere. This is just the intro, your intro into getting familiar with this kind of stuff, because this is not the first time something like this has happened before. You have all these different rappers, all these different music artists, all these different just individuals, just rather famous individuals that have done stuff like this, that have dropped different pieces of either content or performances that just hint to them hating each other and something slightly bigger with, you know, remember XXX Tentacion or, you know, Biggie. It's just people like that, a lot of people like that. And it's very interesting, because a lot of it does have culture ties, and unfortunately, almost every single time it ends with violence. I'm not a violent guy. I don't like to see violence. It doesn't make me happy, but regardless, this stuff is pretty interesting. Some of it's pretty humor, some of it's pretty humorous, but all of it is pretty scary, which we'll get into in a second. So after Drake drops push-ups, he drops another banger, which I say banger with a massive grain of salt the size of my big ass nose, because Drake dropped Tailor Made Freestyle, and this is where people at this point, people were starting to think like, oh wow, Drake is really putting out, right? And then he drops this where he uses AI voiced Tupac, which is a dead artist, one of my favorite rappers. He's very talented. He unfortunately passed away in, you know, a different situation for a different video, but he used AI voiced Tupac, who's dead, and then he used AI voiced Snoop Dogg, who's alive, which is kind of a weird choice. But essentially, they were just, you know, Drake was just using ghost writers, which is AI voiced AI language models, rappers, to just, you know, basically on Kendrick, right? Just, you know, take a couple of jabs, you know, take a couple of boom 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 boom, you know, a couple of uppercuts, couple of, you know, parries, you know, all that stuff. Just do a bunch of stuff towards Kendrick. And at this point, people saw the song and they were like, it's kind of weird, you know, like Drake has connections. He could get Snoop Dogg to rap this, right? But so this was a fumble by Drake, I think. But this is definitely not the first fumble that we will see from him, because Kendrick's responses to this are haunting, to say the least. At this point in time, after Drake dropped the hot shit that was his AI song from Tupac and Snoop Dogg, Kendrick drops Euphoria. Now Euphoria is the entryway, it's the gateway to Kendrick's darker side of writing. It feels like Kendrick was just had this like ball of bad juju and like bad emotion against Drake, and he just Kamehameha'd it right at, like, this is like when he was, you know, Kamehameha's one full motion, you know, you're taking the ball, it just boom. This Euphoria is Kendrick's version of doing this. He's getting ready. And then the next song, I think the next song after Euphoria is when he just goes boom, because the next song that Kendrick drops, and he drops like Drake did twice in a row, which is that's a massive part of the story, right? This song is the start. This is the beginning of the end, because in this song Euphoria by Kendrick Lamar, he talks about Drake not being black enough, and one of his last lines in the song, Kendrick essentially tells Drake to, you know, stop using the N-word so much, stop using the N-word at all. It's basically Kendrick attacking Drake's ethnicity and his culture. Well, I'm not in any position to speak on that, but I have been keeping up with Drake, his social media, you know, his presence over the years sometimes, and there have been some weird spots where Drake has been trying a little too hard, I think. But again, I'm in no spot to speak about that, so I'm gonna move on. Also, what I said earlier when I said you know, like Kendrick's next song after Euphoria is the real like the kicker, I didn't mean that, because his next song is 616 in LA, which this is where we see Kendrick's writing like really, really pronounced, really, really, you know, like out there, because 616 is in LA is a double entendre, I think. And a double entendre is essentially something that says something, means something, and means something else at the same time. And Kendrick has done many entendres. Like I think in one of his songs, there's a quintuple entendre, which is 5 things. That is insane. You know how many like famous writers struggle to do that so much? Kendrick is fitting them in rap songs, no longer than 5 minutes long. That's insane. That is why I think he is the GOAT when it comes to writing. And also, you see entendres in a lot of spots, primarily in the Bible. There's 2 digits, right? 3 and 7. I'm not even going to get into like the entendres with those 2 digits and like the first, like in the New Testament, like, with like Genesis 1 and like all this stuff. Like you see a lot of what Kendrick is doing, like the same writing techniques in stuff like the Bible. It's insane. And 616 in LA is just, Kendrick taking a few more jabs at Drake, just trying to get some of the allegations out there. It is what it is. But after Kendrick drops this, Drake drops Family Matters. Now, Family Matters is a pretty dark song. Not as dark as the one after Family Matters, which is Kendrick's response. That is the massive. That is like the Eiffel Tower of the situation. Sorry if my room is so dark, by the way. It's I didn't really feel like walking 2 feet over there and putting on the lamp. But Family Matters is the thing that really you have like a thing of TNT in Minecraft. Family Matters is a flint and steel. And across all of this, right, in both Kendrick's and Drake's songs, right, there are multiple characters. As Ludwig states in this video, there are multiple characters, and Drake and Kendrick both call out some different people, but the main course of the meal, right, the 5-star like steak that you get is between Drake and Kendrick. Sorry for touching my mic there. That is who we'll be focusing on today. Now, in Family Matters by Drake mentions someone named Dave Free. Now, Dave Free is, let me read it from here. Dave Free is a childhood friend and right-hand man of Kendrick, co-founding creative company and label PG Laying together. Now, there's a few things that are pretty freaky, pretty messed up about this. Basically, this song was primarily for Drake, throwing it out there that, hey, Kendrick, one of your buddies might have had, a thing going on with your fiance, had a child with your fiance, and now you think that's your kid. And that fact is mentioned a lot, not a lot, but quite a few times in Family Matters. It's a really freaky. I say the word freaky because it is freaky. The whole music industry is just like sex, drugs, money, like I'm not going to say that word. Like no child people. Like that the entire music industry is just full of those people. I don't think Drake is clean. I'm going to say this right now. I don't think Drake is clean. I think Drake's a horrible person. Well, not a horrible person, but after all of this stuff that came out with Kendrick, and we'll, again, see that in a few minutes, if what Kendrick is saying is true, then Drake is a horrible person. I don't think he's the best person right now, but if what Kendrick is saying is actually factual, so after Drake's little stab in the dark, we have, by Kendrick Lamar, Meet the Grams. So upon clicking on Kendrick's video, you see one thing. You see an album cover. Or not an album cover, a picture of something that was inside Drake's house. Now, there are multiple speculations of the origins of this picture, what's in this picture, who was taking the picture, who the picture is taken for. But there are a few things that are pretty scary in this picture, and one of the main things is a bottle of medicine. Now, this bottle of medicine, it's used for sleeping, I think, or something like that, but it is also used as a date R-word drug. It is used to make people extremely drowsy, which it's visual representation of Kendrick saying, hey, Drake, I don't trust you, and I think you're a horrible person. And upon watching Ludwig's video, he made a very good comparison about Meet the Grams by Kendrick Lamar. He said it was like The Conjuring, which is a movie you watch one time, it was good, horrific, don't watch it again. Meet the Grams by Kendrick Lamar is The Conjuring of rap. This song is terrifying. This song, you don't listen to it to listen to it. You listen to it because it sheds light on who Drake is and who Drake surrounds himself with, if it's actually true, and then you never listen to it again. Because listening to it, it freaks me out a little bit. Because in the song, Kendrick takes the really creative approach of talking not to Drake, but to Drake's family and the people he surrounds himself with, or lack thereof, if you will. Because the first 20 seconds of this song is Drake, not the first 20 seconds, but the first portion of the song is it is Kendrick Lamar talking to Drake's son, Adonis, which is essentially Kendrick saying, you know, hey Adonis, I'm sorry your dad's like, you know, such a bitch. He's not a man. Like, you know, I'm sorry, he's like a child, no-knower, and he's just like a creepy guy. And then Kendrick also talks about Drake's daughter that he was hiding, which is really like, whoo, like this song is wild. And keep in mind, this song was dropped 30 minutes after Drake's previous response. 30 minutes. That's how fast this guy went. Like this is Drake, right? Oh, you know, oh, you're such a bitch, you're such a dickhead. And then Kendrick just boom, like 30 minutes, 30 minutes. And then this entire beef between Kendrick and Drake is not about going 1 for 1. No, it's about going for 2 for 2. So after Kendrick dropped the absolute horrific song, it's a great song. It's really good. Really, well, okay, it's not really good. It's catchy, kind of, but it's haunting. But it's still a good song because it's by Kendrick. After that, Kendrick drops Not Like Us. Now, when you click on the video from his YouTube profile there, you see a picture, which is Drake's estate, is what she calls it, which is Drake's house, Drake's big boy mansion. Those little icons that you see, the red like profile picture icons, are of, and this picture is saying, hey Drake, I know the kind of people you have in that house. I know the kind of people you surround yourself with, which is just wow. Like that's like that picture alone says enough about, you know, and then you know, like if you go all the way back to the origins of this beef, you know, the prehistoric era of Drake versus Kendrick, you might remember Drake saying, Metro shut your hoe ass up and make some drums. Yeah, after all this is over, Drake dropped, I think, another song, by the way. Let me see here. I think he dropped another one. Yeah, Drake dropped The Heart Part 6. I haven't really dug too much into that one. I don't really care to. I think Drake has already lost. But after this, Metro Boomin made a song, and this is pretty funny. Metro Boomin's a producer, right? He doesn't sing. That's why Drake said, Metro shut your hoe ass up and make some drums. That's why Drake said that. Metro made a song that said BBL Drizzy. Now, Drizzy is Drake, and BBL is a Brazilian butt lift where you take fat from your stomach and you put it into your butt cheeks. And people think Drake got a BBL. I don't know. All right, I'm not the butt inspector. I'm not looking at Drake's ass to see if he got some extra like stomach fat stored in there. But remember the picture that I was talking about, Kendrick's Meet the Grams picture. You can see a prescription of Ozempic, and Ozempic is what a lot of famous people, especially music artists and like, you know, mainly celebrities, use to lose weight. It is a pretty effective form of losing weight. Now that's an entire different subject for an entire different video. I completely disagree with using medications and basically unorthodox methods to lose weight, because I've lost 50 pounds. I mean, I'm starting to gain them back because I haven't been focusing too much on my diet, but regardless, sorry to yap. But basically, Metro Boomin here, I don't know what that was. Metro Boomin is saying, hey Drake, you dickhead, you took your fat from your stomach, you put it in your butt, haha, loser, that's why you got abs now. So to sum it up, this entire thing has just been wild. This is going to be an extremely long video, and this, again, one of my longest videos. I think it's going to be my second longest video aside from the Attack on Titan video, which was a shot in the dark, and unfortunately I missed with that one. But regardless, this is going to be one of my longest videos, and again, this is just scratching the tip of the iceberg, scratching the tip. All right, never mind. This is going to be the entrance to the rabbit hole. That's not better. Jeez. Regardless, I would recommend go watch Mogul Mail's video by Ludwig. Very, very, very awesome. Very, very, very insightful. Very, very, very scary, I think. And again, I don't see this rap beef ending in just, you know, a handshake and Drake going, man, that was a good one, man. Oof. He's like, you know, like binging up the wounds on his head, you know, like a cartoon guy. He's like, man, what a good fight, Kendrick. Wow, that was good. No, I think something bad is going to happen pretty soon, but there's no avoiding this. I'm just a nobody again. So in the meantime, look into this situation. There's hair in my mouth. Ugh. In the meantime, stay safe.